So I've been trading new water with this MacBook Pro 15-inch. This is a fairly new one. It's probably 2014. I don't remember what the A number is, but I'll put it in description. So the LCD is cracked, and I was looking at how to get it replaced. Apparently these things are available online, but the disassembly is very different from anything I've seen before. So this screen looks like it has the glass overlay on it, but it really does not, and it feels plasticky. So this is the actual LCD glass covered with plastic film. So finally Mac has learned that, you know, shards of glass can damage people's hands and stuff. So it took me a while to get that, because as I was trying to pry the glass off, it was just cracking and crumpling under my tools. So I thought, okay, let's do it the old-fashioned way. So I took this plastic strip off, basically just slide it a little bit and then lift it, and I took all the screws out. There was this thing on there. So I took all the screws for the antenna, then there's a couple of screws for the LCD controller, and then what I found is there is this sticky tape on the inside that makes this metal thing separate. So not apparent right away what's holding it on the inside. I thought it was screws. Well, doesn't matter. So then I thought, okay, I peeled it back, and I found some screws that hold down the LCD itself. And so I took those out, but there was not apparent what to do next, because, you know, those screws don't hold the LCD completely, because there's got to be something on top. So I looked and looked, and I found, you know, you got to peel this rubbery plastic off, and under it I found some more screws. So let's just peel, and this is different in how it's, sorry, shaking it. This is just a hodgepodge makeshift camera. Okay, so this is different from how you take apart MacBook Air. This is different from how you take apart the older MacBooks. It's actually so far, well, I don't know, better or worse, but it's definitely different. So this gets peeled off. Again, you know, Mac style, lots and lots of tape. Lots and lots of tape. Alright, so we got the rubbery plastic thingy out, and what we have now is basically an exposed LCD. This was dropped, and you can actually see the band. This is out of shape, so I'm gonna have to mend it back, but that's after I get the LCD out. Let's pull the screw, and some screws are shiny, some screws are black. Traditional Mac way of making everything weird. Okay, peel this up. Okay, so now as I can see and feel that this part is glued. So the LCD is glued to the cover, and for that I have to use the heat gun. I don't have anything to put my camera on, so I'll come back with it. So this is a MacBook Pro 15-inch Retina screen with a broken monitor or broken LCD. This is the original LCD from it. So I got the replacement LCD and everything is okay except that there's a flaw on it. Now the reason these LCDs are so expensive is because there's so many of them go to being rejected. This is one of the rejects. When you buy things, you could get a reject. And you can see the bright streak. This streak is basically a flaw on a panel itself. There is no way to correct it. It's a bad panel. It has to go back. So unfortunately, this computer is not fixed yet. So make sure that if you're doing a job like this, that you first test fit. So there's the, test fitting the connection. Gotta be careful to put it all together very carefully. Don't put any glue, don't put any sticky tape, don't reassemble it, and just test to make sure that your LCD is in fact perfect. If it's not, pack it carefully back and send it to whom you bought it from. Thank you. Hello everybody, this is Abraham at Nasher Computer Services, and this is a 15-inch Mac that I've been working on replacing the LCD screen on it. This is the original broken one. So right now we are at the point of reinstalling the new LCD, and the process is not very straightforward as far as how do we put the LCD in, and more importantly, how do we put this rubberized gasket in. The problem here is that this gasket is bigger on lower or bottom than it is on top. That means that the gasket has to come in with the LCD. If we put the LCD in and then try to put the gasket in around, we're risking cracking the LCD. So with that said, we have to do some prep work. Now the original LCD had a metal piece that was over here, so I had to carefully peel that off without actually damaging, or I should say warping, the metal. That's important. The metal piece, it's this piece right here, gets screwed in first. After we have the metal piece in there, and we're going to tape the perimeter. First we're going to prep it with alcohol. Next step is, this is the new LCD. We're going to, I like this word we, I am going to, you're going to watch. Put the this rubber piece in, and then we're going to have to try and install this unit with the rubber as one piece. Okay, I have no idea how this is going to work. One thing to pay attention to is there is film on top and on the bottom of the screen. If you look here, come on, there is the number right there. That number will show through if you don't remove the bottom clear film. The top clear film you can probably leave in place until all the work is complete, but it does have a number on the front too, so if you leave it, that number will show through, and that's no fun. Okay, so to kind of prep as to how this is going to get reassembled, if you have the original that didn't get torn up completely, this is how it goes in. So the LCD goes in, the rubber gasket goes in, then this gets screwed in place, then your antennas go on top like so, and the black cover goes on top. So that's the course of action. One thing that makes it different is the original, this screen had a black tape covering part, I don't remember which part it was covering. Yeah, it was covering part of this metal piece. So we'll have to see how that goes. I hope this will cover it, but there was some black tape. Oh no, this is where it was, I'm sorry. It was taped over here and it was coming down slightly, so this was a little wider. They made that hidden with the use of black tape. So I don't have that kind of tape, so we'll just have to work with what we have. So first things first, we're going to apply some adhesive double-sided tape to the metal piece that is supposedly holding the LCD in place. I'll just use the 91% alcohol to get rid of any oils and dust that got accumulated on it over time. This had been prepped for some time. I was waiting for the LCD, basically replacement LCD, to arrive because I've ordered one. It came in and it was damaged. Well, it wasn't damaged, it was a bad one from the factory. Apparently a lot of these LCDs are bad. You don't know any of that if you own a Mac, because you own one with a good LCD, but there is a lot of rejects from the factory. Some of those rejects get sold as parts, and well, some people are happy with that. I asked the customer said no, so we had to send that one back. Once we sent it back, then they said they didn't have any more in stock, and so it took a while for this part to arrive. So for this job, we're gonna use double-sided tape. This is a little thicker one, and we're gonna need some scissors, and we're gonna need side cutters. Sometimes it's easier to cut this tape with scissors, sometimes with side cutters. Okay. Now, once this tape is applied, there isn't an easy way to fix the problem if you've created one. Now, as long as the LCD hasn't been adhered, the problem can be fixed. Once you put the LCD on, you only have one shot at this, unfortunately. And if you've never done this before, be extra careful. No room for errors whatsoever. Now you might notice that I'm using this, it's basically the cover, and I do it so that the dust doesn't get in on the back side of the screen. Anything that falls on the back side of the screen will show through. So I don't know if this is being assembled in dust-free room, probably, like the hard drives. I can't imagine how can you get this thing assembled in a room that is not completely dust free. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of room, and this is not a hard drive. In a hard drive, if you take it apart and you don't have a clean room to take it apart and reassemble it, you do not want to use that hard drive, believe me. That hard drive is junk. Alright. So I cut it a little too. So adjust it. Alright, I'll move this over here. And basically just go around attaching stuff. Let's see. I'm not sure what these black pieces are, but they are plastic. They're not antennas. So okay. Now these we'll have to do piece by piece. Can't put the whole strip on. Okay. Now, taking this out wasn't horribly difficult, but one of the things that is noticed later on is that if you aren't extremely careful, you might scratch the inner layers of the reflectors, and that will show through. Unfortunately, there is no way to fix that aside from replacing the reflectors, but nobody has them. In my opinion, and this is just a babble, but it's a scientific babble, all this is done for one reason alone. It saves Apple a lot of money to create garbage like this. And as I said so many times, I mean, it's okay, you know, anybody could manufacture anything they want. The only beef I have is the price of these things. This computer is $2,500. No way, no how this computer is worth $2,500. Absolutely no way. This computer is a piece of garbage in a repair sense. Apple has a good operating system. They have a vigilant team of people making sure that the viruses are kept away from the systems, and that's how they capitalize on everything, which is, you know, it's okay. I'm just not happy about it. there is a piece of dust and it's in between the layers. I have no idea how to take that out. We have to lift the layer. Oops. Okay, that helped. Okay, the piece of dust is gone. Okay, so now the fun part. I have to figure out how to attach this rubber gasket to the screen and then put the screen in place. It has to be done as one move. It took me a while to find this out, how it's actually done. Some things just didn't make sense, and the things that didn't make sense were how do you put the screws under this rubber gasket? If you lift it, it comes out. So the screws aren't being put under the gasket. The screws are, and the screws I'm talking about are the ones that hold down this metal bracket. You put the bracket, put the tape on, put the screws in, then you slam your LCD in with the rubber gasket on it. So next, this came with some tape on it, but I don't think that tape is any good. I'll have to use it. Okay. Yeah, this tape is not holding very well. In fact, this whole assembly is not what I would consider a pleasurable experience. Assembly. Okay. So I'm gonna try and get this inserted. I don't know if I will succeed or not. I was thinking perhaps to attach this with something, but the problem is, what do we attach it with? And I'm almost certain it won't hold. We don't really need to hold it for, very long or too good or well, but just enough to insert this piece in place without losing contact. So my feeling is that this gasket was originally attached to the computer, and from what I see, there isn't a way to make it stick without additional help, and that additional help will come from hobby sector. And I have this micro liquid tape. This stuff is actually quite good. It's basically your sticky stuff from the tape without the tape itself. So if I was to put tape on this, it will make unevenness, and once you press it down, you're risking cracking this damn LCD. But hopefully, and I haven't used it in a while, so it separated a little. I gotta mix it up. Okay, so this stuff, I mean, it's not a bad stuff. I mean, the tape, the only problem with it is it's a little messy. Messy meaning it stays tacky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some basically touch the LCD in a corners, I mean on the edge, and make that edge tacky slightly, so that when it's time to reassemble it, basically stays in place. One thing that I'm not completely happy about is that it might show through on the other side, and if it does, it won't be easy to clean. I mean, it's not difficult to clean, but because it's tacky, ouch, just touch the tacky part. Because it's tacky, it doesn't really like to get cleaned off. I do still have the tape on both sides, and let's put it this way, I'm not crazy about this technique, but it might work. I don't know. Alright. Dry it a little bit, and we'll see where this takes us. While it's drying, I'll do a little bit of prep work here with a piece of Q-tip cotton. Get stuck to this. Yeah, all this taping stuff, it's no fun. I don't know. I think screws are the best way to go, in my opinion, but it's just me, and I'm only repairing this stuff. If I sit on top of the world at the helm of Apple, one of the, I don't know if it's the biggest company, it's definitely one of the biggest companies, I might think differently, and I might think that it's all about generating cash, and people who are people don't care about people. I mean people who repair this stuff. Now, if this computer was dropped by a young girl and ended up on my bench, honestly, this shouldn't have ended up on a bench. I mean, it wasn't dropped a lot. It's okay. So seems to me that my trick with the tacky tape is working. And it looks like the thing is holding quite well. One thing that I do need to do is peel off a little bit of this top layer, just so that when I have it all assembled, I don't have to worry about cracking this LCD. Because once you start jamming your metal pieces in between, there is a lot of risk of breaking this. Oh, come on, just peel away. Alright, so just like that. We're going to bend it and reassemble. Okay. Alright, I'm okay with one corner being a little bit imperfect. This is where it was dropped. So, I mean, it's holding. The tape is holding. It's, I guess, tough enough to give me a little bit of time to reassemble. And that's, you know, that's what I was looking for. So my theory worked. Now I just have to make sure I don't forget to peel that back tape off. Alright, so now we are going to, so in the channel I have basically cut this tape I have lengthwise in half, and that went inside of this channel, and I'm just peeling it and exposing the tape. I'm honestly not very excited to do work like this. This is, you know, tape, come on, it's tape, people. It's just tape. It's not durable. It's not, I mean, even the original tape is that Apple is using. I mean, it's just tape. It's much better with a screw. You know it's gonna hold. Why risk? I don't know. Might have guessed I'm not a huge Apple fan. In fact, I'm not an Apple fan at all. But we only have two evils, Microsoft and Apple, and both are evil. You basically pick and choose which evil you like more. Stick with it. That's it. Alright. Or I should say you hate less. When you talk about evil, you don't really talk about any kind of love. I mean, I do own a lot of Apple products, but you have to know your enemy. So that's the reason. I give it to my family. I like watching it being destroyed. Okay, some more tape peeling. We're almost at the point of, okay, now this cover is sticking. So, alright, and the last. Okay, now your LED lights are under there somewhere. Okay, so now, as you can see, before this was wiggly and wobbly, and the rubber gasket was always falling out. It's holding it in place very well. So again, microscale micro liquid tape. Come on, where is it? Microscale micro liquid tape. I got it at the hobby shop, and I use it for my model planes. Alright, the moment of truth. We peel this off. We take this off. We use air. Always have a little bit of air next to you. And we drop, come on. Drop it. In place. Okay. All right. As I said, this is not what I like to do, but hopefully it'll stay together. I'm really hoping for that. I'm really hoping for that. Okay. So, where is our... that. One thing that makes me kind of why okay, there's the same screw holds two pieces, so that's why I was why if this is such an important difficult thing. When they use the screws are, they have a million different kinds of screws. Alright, so now we are going to attach this. Here's my little screwy thingy. Okay. Another tiny little screwy thingy. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this nasty process. I can't. I have to do it manually. Alright. I do not have any fun doing this. If Apple is watching and laughing, just so you know, no fun doing this at all. And I hope you had fun producing it. You know, these Apple engineers are probably sitting there and laughing their asses off. These idiots. They are trying to repair something that was designed to be unrepairable. Unrepairable. And of course they're laughing. I'd be too if I had designed something to be unrepairable. Okay, this piece is this here, not to forget. So I get the original screen, the LCD piece, and guess what? There's a line going through it. Oh, I'm in zoomed mode. There. It was not a pretty sight. Okay, so now we have this. Okay. So I'm curious, Mr. Apple engineer, what would be the next twist on impossible to repair things? Or I should say things impossible to repair. Alright, something is not right there. Something is not. Okay. Whoa. Oh, I see. Whoa. This is bad stuff. Okay, so I can't show it, but inserting this antenna is very strange. Come on. Okay. Alright, there's two sides to it. I didn't realize that. So when I was putting the screw in, the whole thing kind of buckled up like this. So I can show right now. This portion, you can see these tabs, and there's another one on the other side right here. It has to kind of grab it from both sides. So you can see this one here, and here is the tab. When you're pushing it together, you gotta be careful on having this on outside and the other ones on the inside. So that caught me a little bit by surprise. Next. And there are two types of screws on this antenna bracket, but I guess you'll find out if you choose to do something like this. Believe you me, if you choose to undertake, and the word undertake here is key word, most likely it will go under with this undertaking. But the trick here that I hope I was clear on describing is how to attach this rubber gasket piece. That's the trick, and the trick is micro liquid tape. It does wonderful job. I am actually quite surprised of how good. I was not expecting a result like that from the liquid tape. It held much better than I hoped it would. I didn't even need it to, be holding that well. But it did good job. It did a very good job. Okay, I am missing one tool, and it's right here. And it's hex. And some people who have seen me work before, this tool I bought at Home Depot. It's a HD 74502AA. One thing that is absolutely necessary is when you replace the blade, you put a different blade you work with, put the old ones back in. It balances the screwdriver. It just feels right in the hand when this is a little heavier. So when I don't have my blades in there, sometimes I just want to, because you replace them so often, back and forth, and you just leave them out, something's missing. It doesn't feel right. It feels quite wrong, actually. So the tool, it's a good tool, was designed with the fact that those blades are going to be in place when you use it. Now, over here, word of a little bit of caution. When you put in those screws, make sure that you don't have a wire caught under there. Alright, so just gonna make him tight. Alright, it's this side. So I heard this girl that has this computer got in big trouble over whatever, and hopefully I'll get her out of trouble. It's my job, save people. So, alright, this is good, everything is good. I found that I'm missing one tiny screw here. I mean, this is working like on a Swiss watch, except Swiss watch was designed to be occasionally maintained and repaired, as opposed to this thing was designed to be never repaired. And one thing I just noticed, this piece goes up and down. You gotta attach it straight. That's weird. It doesn't guide itself. So not not happy about that either. I mean, making all this precision made, may as well make it so that it's, it's better. Okay, so I'm just checking to make sure we have all the pieces. Okay, so we have screws for the case, kind of weird little bunch. these two pieces, we have these two pieces. Well, everything seems to be falling in place the way it's supposed to. Alright. One other thing is, when they assemble this at Apple, they put this ANDs after the computer is assembled. I'm not going to do that. Right. So what we're going to have to do is try and assemble them. Alright, one goes in. Well, this one will have to be put in. It's actually glued in place. There is some, sticky tape. Ah, yeah. Apple loves the sticky tape. Alright, now we just make sure it is where it's supposed to be. There. That's in place. Come on. Just fall in place. There. Oh God. Why are you not falling in place? Okay, there. Okay, so before this piece, if it's facing you, it slides towards the right. Okay, if you don't, I slid it towards the left, and there are catches under there, so it has to go and catch those catches, whatever. So I didn't pay attention to that, so it looked like that. Now looks like I've paid attention. Just slide it back in place, and nice and smooth. And right now, oh come on, I like when this happens. You look for a piece and it's not there. Well, look on your sleeve. It'll probably be there. Okay, so now in place. Alright, this looks like it's assembled. Alright, actually it doesn't look too bad. I am quite surprised that it turned out so. Now one thing left to do is to make sure that it actually works. So I usually don't take it this far, but I have tested this before, so I am reasonably convinced, or I can make a reasonable assumption that it works based on the fact that it worked before, unless I forgot to connect something. So now to reassemble the rest of the Mac, it's best to do it this way. Okay. Alright. So you just leave this hanging and put it back together. Oh, come on. Alright. They're using these hex things here. All I could say is, if you don't have a patience doing this stuff, don't even start. This will test your patience to its absolute maximum level. Your only question in your head is, why? Why did you do it this way? Why? Especially if you've had experience before working on Dells and Acers and Gateways and Asuses and whatnot. They're not assembled this way. They're assembled normally, under assumption that if it breaks, it's going to return to our factory. Our techs will have to fix it, and we don't want our techs to be mad. Although I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Alright. I mean, wrong about my assumption that they don't want their techs to be mad. Not about how the thing is put together. Although, Apple is ahead of many manufacturers, and this is the future, people. This is the future. Whether we techs like it or not, this is how it is going to be for the rest of the manufacturers. They're going to look at this, they're going to learn, and when Apple is not looking, they're going to take the dare, so to speak, and make their computers, because everyone wants to make money. Let's face it, this is the biggest money maker I have ever seen. Alright. Alright, let's lay some cables. Tiny connection number 1. Tiny connection number 2. Tiny connection number 3. Okay. Alright, so this is assembled. Let's see. This is assembled, and this is in place. This is in place. Let's actually put one this way. Yeah, like so. All right, so we have some rubber thingies that transmit spikes or whatever up and down. We have our computer assembled. We have our screws and whatnot. We have our back panel. Oh, battery. Let's reconnect the battery. Put the panel back on. Come on, come on. Okay. And there is a special screwdriver for these screws. Alright. Alright. And this is not hex. This is penta or something. It's only 5 lobes to it. Whereas this one is 6, this one says 5, so they are not compatible. Alright. So the computer, turn off the light, moment of truth. I hear something, I see something. And voila. We have a working computer. I don't believe it. Let's peel this off. This is what I was trying to do when I peeled a little bit of the corner out. If I didn't do that, I'd have to now try and pick it out. Whereas right now, nice and clean. What we're gonna do is we are going to attach this to the old one. And this over here. I like to save these panel pieces, and the reason I save them is lets me know where connections are, true dimension, model numbers. There's quite a bit of information on this seemingly useless piece of part. So hopefully this was educational. Here is a new panel. Let's see if we can make it brighter. That's keys. Full brightness. No flaws, perfect matrix. Quite happy with the work. Took about an hour. So hopefully this is going to show somebody and help somebody. Thank you for watching.